Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Today is a price variance show where we're going to be looking at CoverPrice's top 20-ish, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's around 20 of them. They're called the Shakers and Movers, and they do a comic of the week, stuff like that.
Yeah, so these are the ones that they recommend are the movers and shakers. But do we think that they're the movers and shakers? So we're going to say whether we're going to collect it or flip it. No, flip it first.
Flip
I always
it,
get the
flip,
flip it,
collect, forget.
collect, forget. I was like, I was trying to get the order right. So
Flip,
flip,
forget,
collect, or forget.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I got it there. Okay, so we're gonna do one of those three things with these comics. And first, what's the first comic do we have?
Right, well, it's a bit of a classic. In fact, you'll do well to find it. Right, okay. So the first comic up here, Alan, for discussion is All-Star Comics issue 5. This is the first appearance of Hawk Girl.
Hawk Girl in costume, yeah. So this one, actually, it's one that I didn't really spec on it, but it's a book that I really like. I have this book in my collection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is it's kind of a cool appearance because she's the first female costumed character. She didn't have superpowers originally, though, just so you know. She was basically a decoy in the original story, where she was kind of like dressed like in that Hawk Girl outfit. So the thing is, this is a good book in terms of two things. Two things I think are good about it. One, it's a blue chip. It's a book that I think has, good legs going in the future. It's one of those books that's always going to be a great book. I would collect it, first of all, just to say. But it's also a good spec if you want to go down that route, because there is the Black Adam movie coming out, and we know Hawkman is going to be in it. And if Hawkman's in it, well, Hawk Girl kind of could be in it, or at least introduced.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, they're kind of a set, they always come together. So, and I think that would be kind of a, introduction that they would make. The other thing is she's already in the Titans TV series, and she's a popular character from that. So I think she could, grow in popularity. DC books are generally undervalued anyways.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a good spec from that perspective as well.
Yeah. Right. So this is not an easy book to find, Alan. So do you know how many graded copies of this there are in the world?
I would say like around 60.
Yeah, 90, not far off. So this is a pretty rare book, very rare in high grade. So even for a 2.0, 3.0, you're going to pay about $3,500 for this.
Yeah, I think mine's like a 4.0 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do I think? This is an interesting one. So I haven't got this. So the question is, would I go out now and pay $3?
Oh, yeah, it is.
There you go. Wow.
Here's mine.
Very impressive.
I just happened to have it right next to me, so that was weird. I didn't mean to, but I just happened to have it. Mine's a restored copy.
I think this other things I'd rather spend $3,500 on. Even in a raw condition, this is going to cost you $1,000 even if you could find one. So I'm afraid I'd probably be spending my money on something else. So for me, I'm tempted by it, but I'm afraid for me it's a forget, and that's just because literally if I said this was a collect, I would be going out and buying this because I haven't got it, and I'm not going to. So for me it's a forget, and for me it's because the price tag is too high. There's other comics I would rather buy with that money.
So can I push back on that a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, my pushback to you is, Hawk Girl. You've heard of Hawk Girl.
I do know Hawk Girl, yeah.
And it's a character that's been around, like it came out in 1941.
Yeah, a long time. This is a very
so that's 81 years.
Yeah,
it's a well-established character. It's a much better key than a lot of these modern books that have crazy prices. Like if you look at some of the Miss Marvel books, you know, some of the weird variants for her, they actually are more expensive.
No,
and
I wouldn't buy them either.
but my point is, like, you know, some of these modern books go for more.
Yeah,
I think this is a very undervalued book.
Yeah, I mean,
admitted that it's
an old book, 1941. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
That's my pushback.
I am going to go out and have a look around my sources for this. If I found this one in a UK auction house, and I thought I could, you know, get a raw copy for maybe £300 or £400, I probably would buy it. Would I?
You'd be very lucky to get it for that.
Well, yeah.
You never know, but you know,
know.
It could happen.
You never know. I've seen some pretty interesting stuff recently. Okay, so that's interesting. I could be persuaded. I'll let you know next week whether I've gone on board.
Next week you'll do an unboxing, and then you'll have
and there it'll be.
Funny.
Okay, so here we go. Number 2, another interesting one. Amazing Spider-Man 69. Have you got this one, Alan?
I don't have that one.
I do.
Yeah, what's the key about that?
Okay, this is a beautifully crafted Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. comic book. Obviously got Kingpin in it. Oh, this is to do with Vincent D'Onofrio going to be coming back as Kingpin in the MCU, isn't it? So it's basically Kingpin spec.
So yeah, so this is one of those ones.
A 9.6 graded copy just sold for a whopping $1,560, a $500 increase since last year's sale.
Yeah,
that's why it's here, because of that 9.6 sale.
Okay, so personally, I'd forget this book, but it's sort of like I mean, Kingpin. I like the character. I would buy a Spider-Man 50 and 51. You know, those are the books to me that are better. Like, you know, first appearance, first cover appearance.
Yeah, but this is a lower entry point.
Oh yeah, I get that. I get that's what people are doing. They're buying the next best thing.
Yeah.
But it's still not the best thing. So that's why I'm a little bit down on it. I don't think it's that great of a cover either.
The cover's,
you know,
no, I agree with you on that. But
I would say there's better spec for Kingpin. Now, one of the things that the way that the Hawkeye show ended was it sounded like he's going to get shot, right? He's going to get shot. And there is a storyline in I think it's in Daredevil where he is shot and he has to get his face repaired and all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
That storyline would be my spec. You know, that's what I would spec on. Okay. I would not spec on this book. I don't like, to me, this is the Hawk Girl for you. Like, I just don't see, like, it's an early Spider-Man.
You're not going to go out and buy it after this show, are you?
Yeah, it's not one I'm really interested in. It's the same as, like, there's a million Doom covers, like, that are the same way, that people buy all these Doom covers. Well, not really interested in. Sorry.
Well, this one, if I hadn't got this, would I be going out to buy it now? No. So I'm agreeing with you. I think this is a forget. I think I agree as well. There are better Kingpin keys to go and collect than this one. Definitely Spider-Man 51, I think, is undervalued.
Way undervalued.
Yeah. It actually has Kingpin on the cover where he's not on the cover of 50. So no, I'm agreeing with you here. Although I have got this, I probably paid about £5 or £10 for mine, but 20 years ago. So here we're agreeing on that one. We've got that as a forget. Okay, now then, another interesting one here, Alan. Have you got this sat just behind you?
Do I have this handy? It's the one I can barely see the cover.
Okay, it's black. It's
can you
black.
zoom in on the cover of it?
I think I might be able to.
Is that the Soti one? It looks like
it's the Black Cat Mystery Comics 36.
I think that's the Soti one with the giant.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
got a giant with a club.
Yep. So I have that book.
Okay.
Actually, I paid less than that, so that's good. It's gone up.
So, that's probably why it's on this list.
So it's a hard one for me to say. Like, if you're gonna buy my copy, yeah, it's a great deal. But this book has like a bunch of things going for it. It's a Seduction of the Innocent book, like it was mentioned, it was referenced in the Seduction of the Innocent. If it is the one that I indeed think it is, where he's boiling people. And it's also
I think it is.
It's a pre-code horror as well. So there's like those kind of elements going for it. And Black Cat Mystery, that series of books is super hot. If you can get this for $200 to $300 is probably a good price.
It says
you can probably
$3,000 here.
Yeah, no, my point is you can pick it up for about $200 to $300.
Can you? Okay.
Yeah, if you know, there are times when I've seen it kind of go in that range, and you can flip it at $500. You know, I'm talking low grade, like not high grade, low grade. If you can get in high grade for that price, then you're really laughing, but you won't. It is a great book to get, personally, I think.
Yeah,
I would collect it because I did collect it.
Yeah, this is the Soti one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice. I really love that cover. I like the sort of vibrant colors of it. I would like to own this. Am I going to pay $3,000 for it? No, but if I found one I thought was in reasonable condition at a reasonable price, I would probably pick this up. So I'm going to go collect on this.
So what's the reasoning for them to say that it's a good book? I'm just kind of curious about it.
I think two CGC 9.2 copies sold just a day apart. One a file copy. One sold at $2,000 and one sold at $2,975 the next day.
Okay, I know. Okay, so I actually know about those sales. So there was a special sale called the Black Cat Sale, or some cat sale, like where it was all these, like it was a collection, like file collection of Black Cat Mystery and Black Cat, like the Black Cat, the sort of more super action, character.
Yeah.
Black Cat comics.
Yeah.
They had like a Black Cat collection that sold and had like this Black Cat pedigree. Okay, it was kind of a weird pedigree, but it was sold on Comic Link, I think, or Comic Connect. Okay. One of the two. I always get the two mixed up. Yes. So I think it was Comic Link. And so they sold like this whole collection, and they were all high grade. So that's probably what this is, getting pulled up by, because people now, this book is now on the radar, and now people are picking it up.
So it's just had a high sale of 9.2 at $3,000, which is why it's on this list.
Yeah. But a lot of these golden age ones, you can't spec on them. They're not books you can spec on because they're more established. So it's either collect or forget. Well, this book I'd collect because I like I
found this in reasonable condition at a reasonable price, I would buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'd say that's fair.
So it's a collect for me. Okay, right. We're going from something from 1942 to something from 2010, 1950. So this is Secret Avengers 1, the Marco Jovadic variant, 1 in 25. So Marvel commissioned Marco Jovadic to create a series of 6 Marvel murals: Avengers, Spider-Man, Iron Man, X-Men, Wolverine, and Ultimate Fallout. These murals were widely circulated and even used to decorate the wall space at Marvel's comics offices. Okay, so
you're buying a mural?
no, a 9.8 of the copy of Jadovic's Secret Avengers variant recently sold for $575. That's why this is on here.
So, okay, so I'm gonna give you a, like, I personally, I would forget it because it's not something I'm interested in, but I could see this as a good spec, and I'll actually explain why I think it's a good spec. From around early 2000s to around 2015, that kind of era, most collectors had left the hobby, and the comic market was almost dead. Okay, it was like a really bad time for the comic market, and 2010 is sort of right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And then the 1 in 25 variants were probably very rare. Like, you know, they're probably, like, now 1 in 25 doesn't really mean that much because they actually they actually print a lot of 1 in 25s, but back then it actually meant something. So I imagine this book is quite rare.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, one random high sale, and it sounds like a random high sale, could spark people to try to seek this book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that'd be my spec on it.
Yeah. Kind of... I think I might have got this in my, I've recently bought a huge collection of comics, bulk bought 2,500 comics for about £200, 250.
Wow.
So
that's a good deal.
Less than 10 pence, about 10 pence or 12 cents a comic. I haven't been through them all yet, but I'm pretty sure that I've got there's a Secret Avengers run from 2010 in there. So I may have this and I may have paid 10 pence for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do a follow-up video where you show if you have it or not. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So how did you, like I know this is top 10 list, but quickly, how did you get this collection? I'm just curious. This is
okay. So I've sort of found a new route of buying comics, which is it's through auction houses in the UK. So there's a site called salesroom.com, and you can go onto that and type comics in it, and it'll show you comics being auctioned in auction houses around the UK. Now, quite a few of these, the auction houses have absolutely no idea about comics. And sometimes there are auction houses that don't usually sell comics. So they're selling comics amongst selling model cars and things like that. So a couple of things: they don't know the value of the comics, and secondly, there's not a lot of comic collectors watching the auctions.
Yeah, it's targeting the wrong audience.
Yeah,
really.
So you can get now. There are some. There was one yesterday, for instance, which is run twice a year, and it's a known comic auction site. So lots of comic collectors go to it, and you consequently get quite high prices. But some of these more obscure auction houses, you know, in obscure towns in the UK, you can sometimes go along. And so this was a couple of weeks ago in a place called Sheffield, and they were just selling off. There was one lot which was, I think it said 600 comics, 3 long boxes, and the opening bid was £45, which is
wow.
8 pence a comic, less than 10 cents a comic. And they were all bagged, and about half of them were boarded. And I won it at £45 for 600 comics.
Wow, that's so cheap.
You've only got to find a couple of, you know, minor keys in there, and you've paid for the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, as I said, if they're all from that time period, that could be a pretty good collection.
There's a load from 2000 to 2015. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That'd be a fun one to go through.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is, I think it was a comic shop that went into receivership in about 2018, something like that.
Wow.
And, you know, the receiver's just selling off the stock.
Yeah, just getting rid of it. Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. So, okay. Back to our list.
Back to the list. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to ignore that one. Now here we go. Here's one.
Oh wow, this is a book I've been trying to get.
Okay, so this is Donald Duck was first introduced in 1937, and since then has become nothing more less than a staple Disney character. Donald Duck appeared 1 year later in his first comic, which reached new heights last week when a raw book sold for $4,320.
And it was a low grade too.
Yeah, it's no surprise that this 10 center, the 84-year-old book, is sincerely sought after, given the character's popularity.
Okay, this is a book that I'm trying to collect. There's no, this is a hard book to come by. Yeah. It is really a seller's market on it. Like, and I actually bid on that one that sold.
Oh, did you?
I bid 2,000, and my bid was just blown away. Like, it was just, just didn't. Yeah, that book is highly sought after. You know, I think there's if you look at the census, there's probably less than 20 of them. You know, it's a rare book. It's you know, Donald Duck's first comic appearance. There's actually an earlier book, which I actually do have, which is not a comic size, but it's like more like a big book that has an earlier appearance. But that is the book that everybody wants for comic collectors.
So it's obviously a collect for you.
Yes.
I'm not a Disney character collector, so for me this is a forget. That's purely because I don't collect. I don't collect the Disney. You know, if I found this in a long box somewhere for £10, would I buy it? Absolutely.
Yeah. Look in your dollar bins.
I then sell it to Alan for £2,000. Anyway, am I going to go out and spend $4,000 on this? No. But that's just because I don't collect these type of comics. So it's a collect for Alan. It's not a collect for me because it's the type of thing Alan collects. It's not the type of thing I collect. It's a great looking comic though. Would I like to own it? Yes. Am I going to pay that amount of money for it? No.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another interesting one here. So this is Gwen, the first Gwen Stacy. You've got this one somewhere as well, haven't you?
I got it. It's on the wall on the other side of my comic room.
Okay. So, first appearance of Gwen Stacy hit an all-time new high sale of 2,400 for a CGC 9.8 on Heritage. Interestingly, this same grade you can get on eBay has got a fair market value of 1,500 on sites like eBay. It's not uncommon for sales at auction houses like Heritage to gain premium prices over eBay. This is a significant and interesting sales trend. So there's a couple of issues there. Should you pay more at auction than you can pay on eBay? And
no. Simple answer, no.
Why?
But it happens. It happens. I almost did it recently. So yeah. Fortunately, somebody outbid me, and I was like, oh, thank goodness, because I saw it on eBay. And I was like, oh my goodness, I almost way overpaid for something. But I think what happens is there's two different groups of collectors. There's the maybe younger, more savvy collector. And then there's more the older collector that's willing to just buy from where they trust. They don't want to buy it from eBay. They want to buy it from like an auction house. Yeah, I wouldn't overpay for a book. I always want to get it for the best price.
Okay, so let's assume you haven't got a copy of this. we're not saying you have to go and buy it from Heritage. You could just go and buy try and get the best deal you can on eBay. Would you? Is this a flip?
This is a spec for me.
Oh, okay.
A very good spec. Gwen Stacy is Spider Gwen. Really, it's not about Gwen Stacy.
It's about Spider Gwen. Yeah.
Yeah. She's going to be probably the major character in the next Spider-Verse movie. So it's going to be her and Miles. They're the two main characters, in my opinion. So yeah, this book is just like another trailer will drop, and this book will spike even further. So I think, if you can get it now for the eBay price, you can probably flip it pretty quickly and get a pretty good price for it.
Yeah, okay. So I haven't got this. I have done quite a lot of collecting of Spider-Gwen, and I've got quite a few of the other keys. I don't have this one. It is on my list for finding. However, I'm not really a flipper. I think Alan's right. I think it is a good flip potential. But I also think this is good long-term investment.
Oh yeah.
I think Spider-Gwen, if you go and watch the kids' TV program Spidey and His Friends, effectively Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, and Peter Parker get equal billing. So the generation upcoming, Spider-Gwen has almost got equal billing to Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So I think this is good long-term spec, as well as having flip potential. So for me, because I haven't got it yet, and if I got it, I'd buy it to keep it, not to flip it, I'm going to collect.
Yeah, I think I paid $30 for my copy, and then I got it graded afterwards. so
You've done well. You did well on that.
Yeah, I bought this book way back when, like almost when it came out, like a little bit after it came out. So yeah, it's a book that I always liked. I think it will probably reach like almost as high a value as the first Miles Morales. I think that's the potential for this book, in my opinion.
I absolutely agree. I think that's right. I think this is a very good buy. I'm probably going to look for a nice raw copy. I'm not going to go pay for a graded copy.
Yeah, I mean, it's still one of those books you can get raw and a high grade version of it, and save like a lot of money doing that.
Okay, let's do one more for your channel. Okay.
Gore. I Gore Streak.
Do you know anything about this?
Not much.
It's the first Greg Capullo work.
Oh, okay.
We'll skip that because I don't know anything about it either. I don't know anything about Gem and the Holograms issue 1. Do you know anything about it?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay. I would. Oh, the next one. Do the next one. I actually know the next one really well.
I know the next one as well. So let's do this one.
Yeah.
Alan,
I was going to comment about this video. So if you look at Comic Tom's top 10 lists, and pretty much all the lists right now, The Boys is super hot. Well, this is the Boys prototype in my mind. This is the book that is the prototype for the Boys. It's Garth Ennis, I believe his name is, right? Garth Ennis.
Garth Ennis, yeah.
And it is a great story. It's over the top, just like The Boys is. It's just it's the same kind of stuff. And I think what's going to happen is, collectors of The Boys, and there seems to be, that book is super hot right now, are going to see this book as that prototype book, and they're going to go and say, hey, let's get this pro book. And it's a hard book to get in high grade, and it's a hard book to actually even find.
So what's thrown this up here is a number of things. You're right, The Boys. Secondly, a CGC 9.8 just sold for $300. And thirdly, CGC are doing a signing with Garth Ennis. With Amanda Connor, who was the artist, and the letterer Jimmy Palmiotti, because they're married, and they're making a special label.
Wow.
So that's what has thrown this into this position. So there's a few things driving this one.
Yeah, I actually think for a 9.8, that's a really good price.
Yeah,
I would say, like, I personally would think that this is a $500 book in a 9.8, and the reason being, it's just that crazy black cover. It's really hard to get that in a 9.8. So
yeah, I picked up a raw copy of this about 3 or 4 months ago, and I paid $15. I need to go and have a look and see what sort of grade it potentially is, but I think it was pretty good. I don't nothing majorly wrong with it. So whether I'd be able to pick up a raw copy for $15 now, I doubt. But yeah,
I paid more for my copy. Mine's like a VF.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow. So you did well.
Yeah,
I paid like 20 or 30 bucks for my copy.
Okay. So what do we think, Alan? If you hadn't got this, you obviously you're keen on this one. You think this is
very keen. I have a feeling that's going to be one of those ones. If there's a special signing, you could probably, if you have it, now is the time to flip it. Once that special signing is over, it's sort of like I went to the Canadian comic thing once, and like there was like certain people, like certain voice actors there, like that would do like Pinkie Pie or like some kind of characters, like cartoon characters. And normally you can buy like the Funko Pops for those characters for about $10 to $15.
Yeah.
Because there was a signing, those pops were going for about 30 bucks.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that effect that I think is going to happen with this book.
Because if you want to get a book for that signing, you've got to go and buy one. So obviously people are going to be buying up the eBay copies and the price is going to be going up.
Exactly. So I think once that signing is over, the prices will come back down. So right now is a good time to flip it. And I would say collect it because it is a great book. It's definitely one that's worth reading.
It's a fun book. I've read it. It's just a fun read. It's an adult read.
Yes, not meant for kids. When you tell your kids before going to bed or something.
Very much a collect for me. I love this book. Buy it for your collection. It's a great book to have there. So along with my boys' collection. Okay. Shall we do the rest of this list on my channel?
Yeah, so we'll end it for now on this channel, but we're gonna do some more books on Mark's channel. And from the books that we've done so far, I think these are going to be some really interesting ones that we're doing. Like so far, I actually like this list a lot better than the one that we did last week. Yeah, because
the Go Collect one, the Go Collect one is very samey because it's about the number of copies sold on eBay and elsewhere. Yeah. And it's always the big selling 90s books. It's always got Spawn 1 on it. It's always got X-Men 1 on it. It's always got Spider-Man 300 on it. This is a more interesting list because it changes and you get some more, it throws up some more interesting, different comics.
Well, I like the fact that it has some really obscure comics. That's what makes me very excited. So I'm excited to see the next 5 on your channel. So everyone go over there and go to Mark's channel. Okay.
Indeed, come to my channel. I need to get to 400 subscribers.
Then he's going to give me a prize.
I need to get to about 10% or 15% of Alan's subscribers, and then I'll be happy.
I need to get to 2,000. I'm going to have that contest. There's a giveaway. There's a link in the description for that as well. So, there's a Mark contest and an Alan contest. So you can win double by just watching these silly videos. Okay. Go over to Mark's channel. Thanks, Mark. Bye for now.
Bye.